If you're living with diabetes, bread probably feels like forbidden comfort. One slice and the guilt hits. You've been told again and again that bread equals spikes, crashes, and loss of control. But here's the truth most people never hear. Bread itself is not the problem. The wrong bread is, and the right bread can actually help your blood sugar behave better, not worse. This isn't about fluffy white loaves that turn into sugar in minutes. This is about specific breads that diabetes specialists quietly approve because they work with your body instead of against it. When chosen correctly, bread can slow digestion, reduce glucose spikes, and even improve how insulin works. A diabetes education official, we cut through fear and confusion. Today, you're learning about 3 breads that real endocrinologists recommend to real diabetic patients. These choices are backed by science, not trends. They're practical, satisfying, and realistic for daily life. Many people are shocked to see steadier numbers simply by switching bread types without eating less, without extreme restriction. Blood sugar after meals improves. Energy lasts longer. Cravings calm down. If you ate bread recently, check your blood sugar about 90 minutes later. That number tells a story. Different breads create very different outcomes. Let's start with a bread that surprises most people and earns the top spot. Sprouted grain bread sits at the top for one reason. It changes how carbohydrates behave in your body. This isn't a marketing trick or health trend. It's a structural change in the grain itself. When grains are sprouted, enzymes begin breaking starch down before you even eat it. That single step makes digestion slower and blood sugar far more controlled. Studies following people with type 2 diabetes show something powerful. When regular bread is replaced with sprouted grain bread, post-meal blood sugar risk is significantly less. Not a tiny difference, a meaningful one that impacts long-term control. Over time, this can contribute to lower A1C and reduced strain on insulin. Nutritionally, sprouted grain bread delivers more protein and fiber than standard bread, with a much lower glycemic impact. Its glycemic index sits far below white bread, meaning glucose enters the bloodstream gradually instead of flooding it. The real advantage comes from resistant starch. This type of starch resists digestion in the small intestine and feeds healthy gut bacteria instead. The result is slower glucose release and better insulin sensitivity. Blood sugar peaks lower and settles faster. Sprouting also increases vitamin and mineral availability, especially B vitamins that support nerve health, critical for people managing diabetes. Less phytic acid means better absorption, so your body actually uses what you eat. One simple switch, big metabolic difference. One of the most powerful benefits of sprouted grain bread isn't just what happens after breakfast. It's what happens all day. When people with diabetes eat sprouted grain bread in the morning, their blood sugar response at later meals improves too. This is known as the second meal effect, and it's a game changer. Blood sugar at lunch and dinner often runs lower on days when sprouted grains are eaten earlier. The body becomes metabolically calmer. Insulin works more efficiently. Spikes shrink. Variability drops. That stability matters because wide swings damage blood vessels and nerves over time. Sprouted grain bread also supports heart health, which is critical in diabetes. Regular intake has been associated with improvements in cholesterol balance, including reductions in LDL levels. When blood sugar and heart risk improve together, long-term outcomes change. Taste and satisfaction matter too. Sprouted grain bread is dense, hearty, and filling. That fullness naturally limits overeating without feeling restricted. It pairs well with protein and healthy fats, which further slow glucose absorption. When soaping, the ingredient list matters. True sprouted grain bread lists sprouted grains first, not refined flour. Many quality options are stored frozen because they contain no preservatives, another sign of authenticity. This bread isn't about perfection. It's about choosing carbs that respect your blood sugar instead of fighting it. Sourdough earns its place for one simple reason. Fermentation changes everything. This ancient bread-making method doesn't just improve flavor. It transforms how your body processes carbohydrates. For people with diabetes, that transformation can mean dramatically lower glucose spikes. Authentic sourdough is fermented with wild yeast and beneficial bacteria. During this long fermentation, starches are partially broken down before baking. Acids formed in the process slow stomach emptying, which means glucose enters the bloodstream gradually instead of all at once. Clinical research shows that people with diabetes who eat real sourdough experience much lower blood sugar compared to those eating regular whole wheat bread. Insulin works more efficiently. Glucose peaks drop. Some people even require less insulin at meals because the body responds better. Sourdough also has a lower glycemic index than most breads. That alone makes a measurable difference, but the benefits go deeper. Fermentation improves mineral absorption and reduces compounds that block digestion. Another hidden advantage is gut health. The fermentation process supports a healthier microbiome, which plays a direct role in insulin sensitivity. When gut bacteria improve, blood sugar control often improves too. Sourdough doesn't fight. Diabetics cooperates with your metabolism. Not all sourdough is real, and this matters more than most people realize. Many commercial loaves labeled sourdough are regular bread with flavor added. These offer none of the blood sugar benefits of true fermentation. Authentic sourdough uses only flour, water, salt, and a starter. No commercial yeast. No shortcuts. True sourdough has a tangy flavor, chewy texture, and irregular air pockets. The fermentation time matters. Longer fermentation means lower glycemic impact. Traditional methods often ferment dough for 12 to 24 hours or more, which maximizes benefits. When eaten with protein and healthy fats, sourdough becomes even more blood sugar friendly. This combination slows digestion further and keeps glucose stable for hours. Many people find sourdough easier to digest as well, since fermentation breaks down some gluten proteins. Over time, regular sourdough consumption has been linked with improvements in A1C and fasting glucose in people with diabetes. These aren't overnight miracles. They're steady, reliable changes that add up. Storage matters too. Real sourdough keeps well, freezes easily, and often tastes better after a day or two. It's not cheap, but the metabolic payoff is real. When chosen correctly, sourdough becomes one of the safest breads a diabetic can enjoy. Pumpernickel doesn't get much attention, but its effect on blood sugar is impressive. This dense, dark rye bread has one of the lowest glycemic indexes of any bread. That alone makes it valuable for diabetes management. Traditional pumpernickel is made from coarsely ground, whole rye and baked slowly at low temperatures. This long baking process transforms starches into forms that digest extremely slowly. Glucose release is gradual and controlled, not sharp and overwhelming. Studies following people with type 2 diabetes show improved insulin sensitivity and reduced inflammation when authentic pumpernickel is eaten regularly. The fiber content plays a major role, especially a type found in rye that supports better glucose handling. Pumpernickel is filling. One slice satisfies in a way that light bread never does. That natural satiety helps with portion control without effort. It also pairs well with protein and fermented foods, which further stabilize blood sugar. The flavor is naturally rich and slightly sweet, even without added sugar. That satisfaction matters, especially for people who feel restricted by diabetes. When bread feels satisfying, cravings lose their power. Most pumpernickel sold in stores isn't real. Many versions are wheat bread dyed dark with caramel color or molasses. These behave like regular bread in the body and offer none of the metabolic benefits. Authentic pumpernickelists, whole rye or rye berries. As the primary ingredient, the texture is dense, almost cake-like, not fluffy. The color is dark throughout, not just on the crust. Some traditional versions include visible rye berries, which is a good sign. Real pumpernickel contains no added sugars. Any sweetness comes naturally from the rye and long baking process. This is why it digests so slowly and keeps blood sugar stable. Research shows rye-based breads support gut health, reduce inflammation, and provide minerals that help insulin work properly. Over time, this combination lowers the risk of diabetes-related complications. Pumpernickel stores well, especially refrigerated or frozen, and doesn't dry out quickly. Light toasting works best. Its strength lies in its density and structure, not crunch. When authentic pumpernickel is one of the safest carbohydrate choices available to diabetics. Bread doesn't have to disappear from your life because of diabetes. It just needs to be chosen with intention. Sprouted grain bread offers the most complete nutritional benefits and supports blood sugar all day long. Sourdough uses fermentation to lower glucose response and improve gut health. Authentic pumpernickel delivers the lowest glycemic impact and powerful satiety. Each bread works differently, but all share one trait. They slow digestion and respect your metabolism. When paired with protein and healthy fats, their effects become even stronger. Blood sugar stabilizes. Energy lasts longer. Control feels achievable again. At Diabetes Education Official, we believe education removes fear. When you understand how food actually works in your body, diabetes stops feeling like punishment. These breads are not cheats. They are smarter choices backed by real science. Try them. Measure your response. Let your glucose meter show you the difference. Managing diabetes isn't about giving up comfort forever. It's about learning which comforts your body can truly handle.